What about the idea of good versus bad foods? Many of us talk about food in this way. Fruits and veggies, for instance, are seen as good foods, and cake and chips are seen as bad foods. The reality is some foods do have more nutritional value, more nutrients, more vitamins and minerals, and some foods do have less nutritional value. Less vitamins, less minerals, more empty calories. As in, they provide a lot of calories with few other nutrients. But labeling foods as good or bad because of their nutrient or calorie content isn't helpful. For example, what happens when we go on a diet, tell ourselves we shouldn't eat any bad food, but then slip up and end up eating them? We feel guilty. We feel bad about ourselves. And that guilt can sometimes create a rebound effect where we think, oh look, I slipped up and ate that bad food. I have failed with this diet. I may as well give up. I may as well keep eating more of that bad food. And that can result in a binge, which is not what we want here. Instead, I'm going to encourage you to let go of the labels, to try not to judge your intake. Try not to engage in all or nothing thinking. And by that, I mean the kind of thinking where we think, my diet has to be perfect or I've failed. Or I can never eat junk food ever or I will be super unhealthy. The truth is, you don't need to be a perfect eater. There can be room in your diet for play food. Eating should be pleasurable. Balance is key. So instead of that binary thinking, good versus bad, I encourage you to think along a continuum. There is a continuum along which every single food lies. At one end are food choices that have high nutritional value. They're chock full of vitamins, minerals, fiber, nutrients, etc. For example, whole fruits, whole vegetables, whole grains, seeds, nuts, legumes, lean sources of protein, healthy fats, etc. At the other end of the continuum are foods that have a low nutritional value. They have few vitamins, minerals, nutrients, empty calories, for example, soda pop, candy, potato chips, etc. And then there are foods that lie at various points in between these two extremes. The goal is not to live at one end of the continuum, that is, to only eat highly nutritious food. If you can, by all means do it, but for most of us, that would be unrealistic. The goal instead is to make choices that are sustainable and that you can maintain over the long term. So I'm not going to tell you to eliminate anything from your diet or from that one end of the continuum. What you eat is your choice. Instead, I'm going to encourage you to move towards just a little bit better. Work at making choices that are more on the healthier end of the continuum. Work at it, make small improvements, small changes over time. And over time, your diet will keep improving. And so will your health and body composition. And if you follow the steps in this course, you will do exactly that. We are not going to diet here. We are not going to label foods as bad and forbid certain foods. Instead, we are going to take a more positive approach. Instead of judging our diet and ourselves and focusing on what we're doing wrong, we're going to focus on what we're doing well. Because chances are there are things in your eating that you're doing well. And that's awesome. Let's work at doing more of those things.